Hello, fourth graders. Today, I'm going to introduce you to a new focus artist. Okay. This is him. Okay. He does not look like a modern man. Okay. And his name is Michelangelo. Michelangelo. Now, that is his first name. And his last name is Buonarroti, but you don't have to memorize that one. Just remember Michelangelo. Okay, he's not an American. He is an Italian. Born in 1475, died in 1564. Okay, so he's been dead for quite a long time. Okay? Now, he lived in a time during the period called Italian Renaissance. Okay? Many people think that Michelangelo is one of the greatest artists in the human history. And he painted, he sculpted the statues, he made statues, and he made poetry, and he lived up to the age of 89 years old. Okay. Now, when he was born, his mother became really, really ill. So his father took little baby, newborn Michelangelo, to the family of stonecutter so that they can help raising him. Okay? And soon the Michelangelo's mother became well, and then he could live with his own family. But isn't it interesting that his brand new life started with the family of stonecutter, and he grew up to be the stone cutting, stone chiseling sculptor. I thought that was very interesting. Okay. But when he became 16 years old, he started going to the school only for the sculptors. Okay. It is called Lorenzo's School. Now, that was run by a man named Lorenzo de' Medici. He was a very wealthy, the rich, famous person who liked to hire and help out the artist to make artworks for himself. And those kind of people, the sponsors, they are called patrons in those days. Okay. And let me show you a picture, it is relief sculpture. That means it's kind of between two-dimensional flat painting and the full sculpture. Okay, and let me show you what he did when he was only 16. Okay, so this is what he made, and he was really, really good at what he does at the very young age. Okay. And by the time he was 24 years old, he moved to Rome, and he made this another great artwork right here. This one is called Lamentation, or in Italian, Pietà. Okay. And this person right here is Christ. He just got taken off the cross. So he has passed away already. And this person above here is the Mother Mary. Okay, so the lamentation means just cry over the very sad event. Okay, so that's what's happening in this work. Okay. And people just could not believe the young artist at the age of 24 was able to make such a realistic and beautiful sculpture. Okay. And let's see, and when he was 26, 2 years later, the people of Florence, that's the city that Michelangelo was born. Well, he was actually born in a little town nearby Florence, but the city of Florence gave him a gift. It was a huge, heavy gift the tall, big piece of marble rock. Okay? And then they asked him, will you please make something for the city of Florence? And this is what he made. Okay, this is the statue of David. Okay, and now this picture does not show the whole thing. Okay? It is the full body statue, and it's close to 17 feet. Okay? You can still see that when you go to the city of Florence. And now I said that that's a statue of David. Do you know which David that I'm talking about? It is the David and Goliath David. It's from the story in the Old Testament. The young David fought against the giant Goliath. You know that story? All right. Now, when he was, let's see, 33 years old, okay, he was quite famous all over in Italy. And there was a pope named Pope Julius II. Do you know what pope is? Who are popes? Okay. Pope is the head of the Catholic Church. He's the president of the Catholic Church. And Pope Julius II was building a lot of churches and chapels all over in Italy. And one day he came up to Michelangelo and asked him, hey, Michelangelo, will you please paint a ceiling painting for the Sistine Chapel that I'm building? And Michelangelo said, I don't think so. No, I don't want to. It's mainly because he was most good at making sculptures. He could paint beautifully, but that was not his favorite thing to do. So he said no. But Pope was very, very insistent. He didn't give up. So he kept asking him, and Michelangelo finally said, okay, I'll do it. Okay. Now, there was a good reason why Michelangelo didn't want to do it, because he knew it was going to be a really messy, difficult job. Now, think about it. You have to paint on the ceiling, and it's not just a house ceiling. It is a huge chapel. So the ceiling is super tall. So Michelangelo had to make this platform, and he will climb the ladder, and on the platform, there's the board that he needs to lie on there, and then he has to look up and paint like that, looking at the ceiling. Now, just that is really awkward and very difficult to do. And to make it harder, okay, back in those days, they did not have tube of paint. Okay? So he had to mix the colored powder with the egg yolk, that's the yellow part of the egg, to create his own paint. And he could not sketch with a pencil or anything at first, because, you're painting on the ceiling, which is the half-dried plaster. Okay? Now, this method is called fresco painting. Now, I want you to memorize this word, okay? Michelangelo and fresco painting. So the way that fresco painting works is you work along with the carpenters, and as they put the plaster on the ceiling or wall, and before the plaster completely dries, the artist paints on the surface so that the colors become the part of the building itself, so that it will stay for a long time and it will not fade away and flake off. Okay, so that's the fresco painting. And it took Michelangelo forever. Okay, it actually took him 4 years. Okay, day after day. It was a very difficult job to do. And one time he almost gave up and his shoulders aching, his back was killing me, not killing me, killing him. And he said, oh, I can't do this anymore. But he didn't, you know, he didn't stop. He completed it. And this is the famous, the Sistine Chapel painting. Okay, this is considered a human treasure. Okay, the greatest, the work of the human art history. Okay, I'm sure glad that Michelangelo did not give up and quit in the middle. All right. Okay. Now, Michelangelo painted and sculpted many scenes from the Bible. Actually, this Sistine Chapel painting shows from the Adam and Eve, the creation story, all the way to the Judgment Day. Okay, it's just full of Bible stories. And let me show you another Bible theme. This one is a sculpture that he made. Okay, here is the Moses, the prophet Moses, the sculpture that he made. Okay, so, and he lived a long life. Okay, and let me just, before I finish it, let me show you the last sculpture that he was working on. Okay, right here. Oops, right here. Okay, this is titled Randani, and he was working on this sculpture just a few days before he passed away at age of 89. Okay, so today I just covered the art history part of Michelangelo and Renaissance art. Okay. And next week, I'm going to introduce you a few fun projects you can do in the style of Michelangelo. Okay. Thank you for listening, and I see you next week. Okay, bye.